Alright, so this will be a bit of a gift for Xronos Day, or Xronos. I will talk about time. So, I used a ready-made script that I wrote before, and this will be a reading more than a lecture. Metaphysically speaking, Xronos is the self-actualizing watchman of change that is supported by the continuity and coordinates appearing in Rhea. In Platonic hypostasis, it is a perfect sequence of events that collapses in complexity of the phenomenal world as its shadow. All wisdom and insight comes from knowledge of causality among events and intuitively derived responses to change among gods, the world, and humans. Those who dance among the whirlwinds of time, who are led by its mercurial changes, are either divine fools, if dancing blindly, or divine masters, if dancing with cognizant grace. All reference points in a system of coordinates where change and time play a role function as a clock. Time is, in essence, the recording of event flashes in relation, ratio, proportion, hierarchy, priority, clusters, scaling vis-a-vis events in a certain reference framework system. Events are flashes of energy that can be recorded, as in the case of stellar velocities, synthetically referenced, as in the case of waking up at 7 in the morning, using the conventional division of time into 24 hours, as nowadays. They may also be invisible or unknown to the beholder, as in the case of synchronicities, where the topological space contains dense causalities that are more similar to complex systems of entropies or chaotic systems, and resolve in effects that may not be effectively retraced teleologically, or the science of aim, to the origin, for they originate from a complex self-teleological network. The galactic clock is the time it takes for a galaxy to complete a full rotation around its own axis. The solar clock is the time it takes for our home star to complete a full orbit around the axis of the galaxy, but also in relation to itself, for example a solar day, in relation to astronomical events, for example solar repolarization cycles, its planets, the moons of those planets, and other stars. Planetary clocks similarly function in various reference systems in relation to other objects, reference points, but also phenomena such as the rate of rotation around their own axis, change in intensity in the star's magnetosphere. Natural clocks concern the biosphere as well as the phenomena occurring in our atmosphere, including the highly complex biological clocks encountered among the organic life systems. Ionic clocks are specific gargantuan transit points of time through time, signifying a new change or charge of charged energies coupled with transcendent attributes in the hypostasis of world in which changes occur and are effective in the phenomenal world. An eon in this case is a cut-out fragment of a sequence of events that is different from the preceding one but closes in the uniformity and community, koinonia, togetherness of certain events in a specific time, and also in relation to other co-eons, counter-eons, dependent on the sum of all influences in relation to the subject of the action. Time sequences are patterns of events as flashes of energy in the field of the universe, organized by common features, its universals, types, or categories. The closer to the Xronos monad, the more infinite the time is, and therefore it becomes too stable to exist as such. It becomes emptied and fulfilled in Ouroboros that consumes itself and encircles the universe. The more diverse within the phenomenal world, the more bifurcations, while the function of time can be both a constant wave with a distribution of events on a scale of various amplitudes and oscillation functions against which changes may be measured as a. Sequential, clustered, constantly repeating. B. Periodic, variable but repeating. C. Continuous, eternal, linear. The interrupted causality is resolved at some point in the event's action in the course of time, so it may cease. E. Ouroboros, that is eternal, sequential, continuous, and circular. Additional time sequences can be referenced in relation to orientation towards a given subject, event, or in relation to other time sequences, creating clocks in the reference systems in relation to other clocks, creating time nodes, which will be important during discussion of anomalies and synchronicities. Do not multiply entities beyond necessity. Be discerning of magnitudes of phenomena. Even if we knew all the cycles of time, orbits, natures of planets and stars, their varied expression of all galaxies in the permutations of the fabric of the universe, defining every moment of the zeitgeist, great and minor eons, the backdrop of cosmic events that influence a small planet in the solar system, the task is primarily one: to free ourselves from the fates assigned to us by powerful forces, to escape them, to once again taste the ambrosia of overstellar worlds. It is enough to witness the tyranny of time in our short lifespan, filled with events that here shout high on happiness, therein sorrow's dread reside. Citing Marcus Aurelius, memento mori. Invicti genie, invisible diamond genius, I might add. By this I do not mean environmental fates, volitionalism, or pockets of freedom against the automatisms that man struggles with every day. I understand by this the force that influences the global sphere of the mind, the entire fabric of human movements, most often invisible to those who live inside its mirror holes. According to harmony, wisdom is marked by insight into the present time and therefore the coordinates of these clocks. Intuitionism is in relation to proceeding along the line of least resistance, at the same time masterfully deriving decisions and acts into the higher worlds, even if we encounter terror, despite the unfavorable arrangement of lower phenomenal forces that attempt to stop us or bar our way towards cognition and liberation. At the right times, it is appropriate to withdraw to higher ground, not engaging too much in this world. In others, it is indicated to dedicate oneself completely to the world, maintaining moderation and not shunning wisdom, which does not tolerate the vulgar things. Yet one must engage and master in order to disengage and withdraw, whether it is understood as inner combat, gigantomachia, or conquering anything in this world. Only when we end and polish our combat to perfection, we may rest and withdraw. Thus, the astrologer examines the interdependence of nature, earth and cosmos in relation to man and woman in the domain of Xronos. The philosopher embodies these principles by the golden mean, somehow through gnosis aretos escaping them. The doctrine of simultaneous means in Buddhism. The magician theurgist, combining the two previous functions, acts on behalf of the consolidation and expression of forces in relation to the greater expanse of heavens, which permeating this world are above this world, at the same time escaping their action by homoiosis theo, rendering himself in the likeness of the gods, and theon ergon, enjoying the work of gods upon him, in order to capture, at least to some extent, a set of higher laws within. Thank you.